You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Welcome to the Rock Your Life podcast. Discover the tools you need to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself. From family and wellness to business and goals, it's time to dream out loud. It's time to rock it.
This stuff will rock your world. Rock!
And now your host, Chasta.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Oh, you too. You too. Thanks so much for having me on here. This is exciting.
Oh my gosh. Of course. You've been on my radar for so many years, us being radio girls and whatnot. So this is like
that's awesome.
way past time. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't know what this podcast is about, I mean, it's very obvious the reason that I chose you, Shan, because it's all about taking life to the next level and really like pushing out and like taking chances and going for it. And just, no matter what happens, just really, living your life to the max capacity, rocking it.
Absolutely.
And, I've just watched you. I'm just so you know, I've already done like an intro for you. I've like spelled out how amazing you are. So
oh, sweet. Thank you.
So that's why we can just jump right into it. But yeah, I mean, I've watched you over the last couple of years with your cosmetics company now. And I've just, from the very moment, I remember the very first video you launched when you made the big announcement about Shades by Shan. I was like, holy cow, like this is big. This is big. This is an undertaking, like what? So to see the evolution has been incredible. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been, I didn't think it was going to get to the point that it was, to be honest with you. I just thought it was going to be like a little side hustle. Being in radio, that was my passion. And then my mom always kind of instilled in my sister and I, like, you're never going to make money working for someone else. So,
amen.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, and then I wanted to start something of my own. I didn't know what it was. And I always loved makeup. And I would always kind of see these influencers collaborating with different cosmetics line, like, oh, I'm collaborating with Sigma, I'm collaborating with MAC, and I'm like, and then I kind of saw a pattern and I was like, dude, you guys have so many followers. Why wouldn't you just launch your own thing?
Right.
And then kind of like a light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, well, I have a little bit of a following, not as much, but why, if they could do it, why couldn't I do it?
Yeah.
So then that's when I launched Shades by Shan. And to be honest, I thought it was just going to be like my friends and family buying. I never thought it was going to get to this point, but yeah, here we are 2 years later and we're growing so fast.
I mean, it's remarkable, honestly, Shan. Like, just to go back. So in case any boys are listening, for the guys, we're not just going to talk about makeup here. I just want to make sure that's clear. I do have props, though. I've got my Berry Sweet palette here. Yay. For anyone watching on YouTube. I've also got, I love this lipstick, the Mission Lips. Oh my God. Like, are you kidding? It's so beautiful on the liner.
Thank you.
I mean, it really is quality stuff. Like to be honest, I always want to make sure in radio and with my podcast and on TV and everything that I'm 1,000% honest with my viewers and listeners. So I want to make sure I got my hands on product, that I knew what I was talking about, and supporting you felt awesome. And so I really do have to say I'm impressed with the quality of this, but let's just go back to radio days. Okay. Because of course, like I said, I work at 107.7 The Bone and people know you from radio and TV here in the Bay. Yeah. But when you were a radio girl, and you still do TV, but when you were doing that and you were thinking about, okay, I'm going to step out on my own, because radio is corporate these days, very much so. You and I both worked for massive corporations. With how terrifying of a thought is that, to go, I'm just going to take a leap? Maybe it was less terrifying since you thought maybe it was going to be a side hustle.
Yeah.
Were you not fully jumping into that idea?
Honestly, it was the hardest decision of my life.
Yeah, I bet.
It was the scariest time of my life. The uncertainty of, you just kind of have this stability of every day you go to work, you get your paycheck, and you're good to go. But with something had to give. I mean, I was waking up every morning at 3:00 in the morning. I was the
Same.
executive producer of the show. I was also doing middays. I was managing the interns. I like was wearing so many hats. And then
You're describing my life right now, just so we're clear, which is why you look gorgeous and I look tired.
Oh, no, you look great. You look great. And so, you know, and then I was exhausted by the time I would get home, and then I would work on Shades by Shan stuff. And then that was growing super fast. And I felt like something needed to give because I needed to be a leader for this little team that I had started. And I also started a nonprofit organization. So whenever you buy Shades by Shan Cosmetics, that goes to the Mama Berries nonprofit to help single parents in need. So that's like another business entity in its own, which I had no idea how tough that was going to be to start.
Yeah.
So I was just getting honestly burnt out, and I had to make a decision. What was it going to be? Was it going to be killing myself for this corporation, or like jumping ship and just taking a chance and doing something, you know, that's mine and that I feel very much fulfilled in, and yeah, just taking that chance. I think that was the biggest leap that I've ever made, that I had to choose, but it just wasn't sustainable anymore. Just waking up that early and then just being exhausted. And then I was working from the second I woke up till the second I went to sleep. And you know, waking up at 3:00 in the morning, you got to be in bed by like 7 p.m.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're dealing with like, you know, suppliers that are out of the country or whatever, and there's like things that you just have to deal with. So I decided to step away from radio for a while, but radio is my baby. Like that's where I got my start, and that's where you know, I think that I have to give it to the listeners because they have been so supportive. And one thing that I realized was that strangers are way more supportive than even your own friends.
What? Oh my God. Thank you for saying that. What is that phenomenon? What is that? Like, I've always wanted to crack that code. Like I know you have P1s, as we call them, like listeners who are all about this station, all about you, and they become friends of yours, and they like support every single move you make, even more so than some of your dearest. And it never makes sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
I'm so glad. I always thought that was just my experience. That's crazy. Okay. Well, good to know.
Sometimes, you know, strangers like come through to like all the appearances, all the pop-ups, like, and then your friends, I'm like, oh, you want something for free? Oh, okay.
Yep.
You know? So it just dealing with that as well. So it was just kind of like a crazy phenomenon, but I feel like the amount of support that I got when I left radio really opened my eyes that I made the right decision. Because burnout is real, you know, like it is considered a medical condition now, and it's real, and I'm so glad that I did take the leap of faith and I did something for myself. Trust me, like a lot of the times I'm like, oh, I wish I had a paycheck that comes in every 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't. Sometimes, you know, I don't pay myself. I need to pay my team. It's a startup at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And everybody just sees the glamorous side of it, right? Like all the photo shoots and the videos and this and that, but like they don't know the hustle that it takes. Like you don't know that we just lost all that footage from our videographer and we had to go back and reshoot everything.
Oh,
stuff like that comes up. So it's just, there's a lot of things that I have been learning too, because it's a new industry. It was completely different. I never in a million years would have thought I would have gotten into makeup.
Yeah.
Coming from the radio and TV world, but I'm so glad.
But it works so perfectly for you. I mean, in so many ways. You know, it's funny, you said a couple things there that really stuck out to me, and I've been thinking about when thinking about chatting with you. You know, in our industry, in radio, everyone loves their job. Like, I mean, well, that's not true. Not everyone loves their job, but a lot of people love their job. But radio has like a special connection to your heart. It's like a living, breathing thing of its own that I think when you're in radio, you feel very honored to be able to connect with it. I've been in radio almost 2 decades now. And so people, I think besides the money, which is the other part you talked about, you know, the fact that you don't have like always every 2 weeks a paycheck, which of course is security. But besides that, there is this sort of like thought with people inside of the radio industry, is their life outside of radio? Like at the end of radio, like, you know, we all sort of like I've never done anything else. You know what I mean? So the thought of like working outside this world is almost very foreign. I'm sure you had to have gone through that.
Oh my God. I was doubting myself the whole time, and I was messaging all my radio friends. I'm like, did I do the right thing? Because I think we all struggle with that, because I was in radio for a decade, and that's all I knew. Like, that's the only job I had. I started as an intern and I moved my way up, and I'm like, what skills do I even like possess, you know, outside of radio, because they're so just fine tuned.
Right.
So it's definitely something that's very scary to just kind of transition your life, because, and then I have times where I'm just like thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I could be totally talking about this on the radio, or I miss it, or, you know, just seeing all the listeners again, and talking to them and having that, you know, rapport. Thanks to social media, that's awesome. We still have that, but like, I still miss it to this day. And I still kind of think I'm not done there yet. Like, I'm going to be back in it. I'm going to continue that, because I don't think my journey in radio has stopped. I just think it's taken a pause. But just know that if you're in radio and you're like, I want to do something else, or I'm thinking about it, try it. I mean, radio is always, it's going to be there. Even though people say it's a dying breed, it's not. People first thing they do is turn on their radio. They want that interaction with that, you know, person, that host. So I say, do it. Like, take the leap of faith. If you're a good, kind person, you will have a job when you want one. Because, you know, people enjoy working with you, and I'm not too worried. When I want to get back into it, I'll be able to. But definitely it was very scary, because I didn't think I, you know, was going to be good at anything else.
I totally get that. I think that the nature of Instagram and social media sort of helps that transition, though, because you do still have that connection with your listeners, you know, and now you're, instead of like on TV, you know, you can be on TV, on the internet, or on Instagram, and be Instagram, you know, famous or whatever. Not that you're looking to be Instagram famous necessarily, but it does, I think, help that transition of like feeling like you've left something completely and turned your back on it. I think there's a little bit of gray area there. It's funny that you say that about doing something else. I've never really considered doing anything else besides radio and TV, just because it's all I've ever done, except for I've always in the back of my head promised myself I would one day have my own nonprofit, a music driven scholarship for kids nonprofit. That's always been a thing in my heart, in my head. I write it in my journal every day, but it feels like a beast. Like it does feel like a beast. Like I get really like nervous.
Where do I start, right?
Like where do you start? But when I saw like that the Mama Berries Foundation was such a big part of why you did Shades by Shan, it was so impressive and so inspiring, and it always has been for these couple of years. Tell everybody what that foundation is all about, and the inspiration behind it. And I love your mom, by the way. She is like, oh my gosh, who doesn't love your mom? Let's be real.
Thank you. So when I started Shades by Shan, I wanted it to be an impact-driven, like, social enterprise. I didn't want to just come out with a makeup line, because everybody could do that, right? So I wanted to give back to the community some way, somehow. I just didn't know how I was going to do that. And I started trying to research like different organizations to just, you know, donate proceeds to, but I just didn't, and nothing was kind of sticking. And then finally the answer was right underneath my nose. It was my single mom who, you know, I saw struggle day in, day out to put food on the table, to put a roof over our heads. She worked endless amount of hours. Like, we barely got to see our mom, like, growing up, because she just had to work. She had to provide for 2 children on her own on a fixed income. And that's when a light clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, let me donate money. Let me donate the proceeds to single parents in need. And when I started looking for nonprofits, there was none. There was none that solely focused on giving back to single parents that were struggling. So I turned to my sister, who's my COO. She actually quit her job. She was living abroad for 12 years,
Wow.
working in Asia. So when I told her the idea, she was like, I'm burnt out. I want to move home. I'll help you start your company for 6 months.
Incredible. Wow.
And it's been 2 years.
Of course.
I had the real jobs. But yeah, so I started to think, there's nonprofits out there. How did other people start nonprofits? If they could do it, why can't we do it? So we just started looking at the process, and we went to City Hall and we filed our paperwork, and then we realized what we got into, because it's not just, hey, here's a nonprofit. Like, it takes 17 months to get recognition from the government if you're going to pass or if you're gonna fail.
Right.
So it was a long process. We had to get lawyers. We had to draft up contracts. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of back and forth, but we started it, and we're like, okay, well, we got to finish it now. So that was a crazy process, but such a fulfilling one in its own. And it's another business entity in its own. You have to have someone that runs it. You have to have all the the accounts and all of that. It's a lot of work, but we needed to do it because there wasn't something that recognized single parents and helped them. So a portion of each makeup purchase goes back to our nonprofit, and then every quarter we have people nominate on our website. So you can nominate an exemplary single parent.
Yeah.
And then we have a committee of people who sifts through the nominations, picks out the top ones, and then we go and surprise them at their house, at their job, wherever they are, with a big fat check.
Yeah.
And makeup and massages and just something to help the mom or the dad.
And you always make these videos that make me cry every time. I love them.
I know. I think it's the most fulfilling part of Shades by Shan.
Yeah.
Is getting to help these single parents and just making a difference. I mean, it could be $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, but it makes such a huge difference if it's for their bills, if it's for daycare, if it's for whatever, for rent. It's something, and these single parents do so much for their children, and they don't get anything for themselves most of the time.
Yeah.
So just having them get recognized, it means so much to them. So it's been a really, really amazing journey. And I think that's why a lot of people keep coming back to Shades by Shan, first of all, because our formulas, we really pride ourselves on that.
They're great. Truly.
Thank you. But I think a lot of people have been touched by a single parent. We get so many messages from single moms or single dads or children of single parents, like, oh my God, I was raised by a single mom, or dudes that are like, hey, my mom is a single mom. Like, I don't buy makeup, but I just want to support. Like, can you help me out? Tell me what to get.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So it's the Mama Berries Nonprofit Foundation has really just filled all our hearts. And I feel like it's what fulfills me at the end of the day, is knowing that we're putting amazing products out there, but we're also helping the community at the same time. I think that's the most important thing. And I think not enough companies do that,
I agree.
And I think it's not all about making money. It's about giving back at the end of the day.
And I love that I've seen that, said on social media by your company, by Shades by Shan, that it's $1 billion industry. The makeup industry is enormous. I mean, I'm probably the biggest makeup lover I know besides you. Like, I'm all in. Skincare. I have a skincare mini fridge by my bed. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing. But the fact that you say, like, it's $1 billion industry and it's time for this industry to give back. It's so true. And the fact that you have taken that on, and it seems like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, has really listened to you and opened this up and made this path for you. I know it hasn't been easy, but it's so cool to see somebody who is so aligned with what they're meant to do. I mean, you're fantastic in radio and TV. Everyone who knows you knows that. But this really does seem to be your calling, Shan. It really does.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, like I said, never in a million years would have thought that I would have jumped ship from radio, because it is my baby. I love doing it. And someday I do want to be back.
Yeah.
But I think that it's more, this is my calling, is to help the community, and Shades by Shan is giving us that platform to do so, especially like giving back to single parents. And I want to just keep giving more. I wish I could do more and more. But to be honest, like I said, I never thought it would get to the point. I mean, we started Shades by Shan out of our mom's house.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, out of our mom's house. And now we're in 18 stores all across California. And next year we're looking at going nationwide. So the steps that we've kind of like to get here, it just, I look back, I'm like, oh my God, how did we do this? You know?
Right.
But we have an amazing team of people. My sister, who is my right hand girl, she's all about like the business, analytical, data, all that. I'm kind of like the face, I'm the voice. And then we have our creative director, Juan, who's only 23, but kills it on social media.
Oh, kills it. Social media game is untouched. Honestly, it's so good.
Thank you. And then we have, our amazing brand rep and pro lead makeup artist, Jess in SoCal. And we just have a really cool, awesome core group of people that I couldn't imagine not doing this with. But you have to like surround yourself with amazing creative people. And for us, it really isn't about the money. Like I said, I don't pay myself sometimes. I need to pay my team. I need to help these single parents. So it's been quite a transformation coming from radio and now doing this. But the amount of support from the listeners that kind of transitioned with me, it's just so heartwarming that I see all I used to see their names pop up on the
text lines
hotline, and now I'm fulfilling their orders. Sending them makeup. So it's been an awesome journey so far.
It's so cool. And you're building your legacy. You know, it starts with Mama Berry herself. But now this is your legacy, you and your sister, and your preggers. You're going to have a baby like soon.
I'm about to pop. Like it's any day now, girl. Like I found out I swear this would only happen to me. I found out I was pregnant at 5 months.
I remember that when you said that on social, I was like, is that true? Yeah. How did this happen? I mean, I know how it happened.
Well, we all know the birds and the bee story, but yeah, I was trying to lose weight for I was like, summer bod 2020, here I come. I was on my Peloton every day, working out, eating right, and I could not lose the weight. And it got to the point where I was like peeing all the time, like all the symptoms, right?
Yep.
And I got to the point where I was like, maybe I just need to change my birth control because I can't lose the weight. Maybe my body is just not agreeing with it anymore. I went to the doctor and they were just like, oh, okay, we'll put you on another birth control and we'll send you to a bladder specialist. Never thought to give me a pregnancy test. Wow. So that, more months passed. I went to the bladder specialist. That medicine didn't work. Put me on another one. That obviously didn't work. Went back in. Oh, you're 5 months pregnant. Wow. So it was, this year, 2020 has been a
shocker.
A roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I at first I was, terrified. But now I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be a mom. I started in radio when I was 19, 20. Yep. I'm 31 now. It's time. Yep. I have the time. I get to work from home now. And I said, like, if I was waking up every day at 3:00 in the morning, would it even be possible for me?
Right.
Like, I was so constantly stressed out and working so much. So I just think that everything happens for a reason. I got engaged a couple weeks ago.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. So it's just been 2020 hasn't been all that crappy.
Yeah. For you, it's been a real life changer, but in beautiful ways.
In a beautiful way. It's been a very tough year, I have to say, for small businesses as well.
Sure.
With COVID, that was a really scary time for us.
Yeah.
And just shifting, so having a small business is all about troubleshooting. Like,
right.
Okay, what's going to go wrong today? Okay, what's going to go wrong tomorrow? And it's just all about having that good mental state of just being like, okay, we're going to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get through this. How can we shift? How can we move? How can we bob? How can we figure things out? So yeah, 2020 has thrown a lot of curveballs at us, and I know a lot of small businesses out there. So
Yeah.
I'm applauding everyone who's been kind of getting through that.
That's why I want to make sure that we push to support small business, you know, and it's easier than ever. I mean, especially Instagram just launched their like shopping straight through Instagram situation, which I'm not even sure I understand, although it's probably terrifyingly easy. But you know, I mean, it is easier to support, shop, and you know, really push small business more than it ever has been. So you know, look, I am an Amazon shopper just like the rest, you know. Everybody I think at this point is, but if there are products like these that you can buy from small businesses, and my gosh, with yours, do great work too, giving back, like it's a no-brainer. It's such a no-brainer. And I just have to commend you on everything that you have done, Shan. It's so inspirational. You're really setting a cool bar in this industry, and I hope that it goes national. I hope it goes wherever you want it to go.
I hope so too. Yeah, I mean, with 2020, I didn't know if we were going to survive, to be honest with you, because there was so much competition, but and there is so much competition, especially in the cosmetics world. But what I realized is that our customers and the Bay Area really care. They care.
The Bay Area is notorious for that. People here, they give a shit. Truly.
Really do. They really, really do. And when I thought we were just gonna sink, people were like, no, honey. Like, you know, they just came out in full force and wanted to support. And it just means so much to us that people are wanting to support small businesses. And if you guys have the if you guys can, like, I highly suggest to just keep supporting small businesses, restaurants, and small mom and pop, because literally when an order comes in, we're like, oh my God, that's so exciting. Like, you know, it's like we do a happy dance, or we're just like, oh my, you know, we get so excited. So it really, really makes a difference for me and like the single parents that we get to help, and the little team that we have going on. So it really, really, anything that you guys can do to like support really means the world to us.
That's what's so neat about supporting small business. My family owns a small business too, a music center, which again, in 2020 is like, are you freaking kidding me? But supporting small, several episodes ago, I had a woman on, her name's Jennifer. She owns a company called Jordan's Gems, and it's headbands and hats and all kinds of cute stuff. But you know, it's amazing as I've supported her for the last year, and we've gotten to be friends on Instagram. We've never met. And it's so cool. Like, she bought an air conditioner this summer, you know, and you're like, and she says on Instagram, like, this is because of my followers. This is because you guys buy $15 headbands one at a time. It adds up. And that's what's so amazing to see about small business, is that your dollars are going directly towards somebody, to you becoming a mama bear with your brand new baby soon. And then, you know, then you're turning around and directly affecting these families, these single parents, by giving them a little extra money, which goes directly to whatever they need in that moment. It's real. You know, like a lot of times when you give to a charity or you buy products, you never know where that goes. And charities, I'm sure they all mean well. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first to give to a charity. But the big, huge charities, a lot of people always have that complaint. Where does the money go? Well, with smaller foundations that are doing this kind of work, you actually see it. Like, you know exactly where your money went. And that's so cool.
Yes. And that's exactly why we started the Mama Berries nonprofit, because we could have donated to a charity, but then you're like, well, what are you going to do with that money? Well, what really is going to happen with that?
Exactly.
You know, who are you really going to help? So to us, it was important that we had the control, and we were able to go out and find these families firsthand and give back to the community. This was the first time, because we've been so Bay Area centric, that we were actually able to award someone in Texas, and now with the power of Zoom and everything, we were able to do that. But it really it makes such a huge difference when you're supporting a small business, that, just like you were saying, because it comes right to our business, and then we distribute it, and we're really out here just trying to make a difference, and
You
put
are.
out amazing quality products at the same time. I'm always saying, like, if it's shitty, I would not put my name on it. People.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, because it is
best.
Shades by Shan. Your name is on every product and your face is all over social media, the website. And so, yeah, you've got to get it right. And you have gotten it right. Like, I am a makeup snot. I will tell you that 1,000%. Like, I only buy the best quality stuff. And these are going to be staples for me. Like, truly, I'm not just saying that. I'm not blowing sunshine up your skirt, love. It's true. So you are doing great work all the way around. And look, I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. You know, it's so great to get these inspiring stories out because, you know, what started out as a dream for you that you couldn't have imagined how far it would go. And here you are. Holy crap.
I know. So we've been working our butt off. Don't think it's been easy.
Yeah.
We have had major F-ups. We've
Yep.
made mistakes along the way, but that's how you learn. That's how you grow. And I'm really, really excited for what's to come. And for people who are watching this, who's bought in our makeup and supported our mission, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And we have a long way to go.
Yep.
But sincerely, thank you so much for having me on here. This is awesome. You keep killing it, girl. You're doing your thing on the radio.
Only girl on the bone, so I got to represent.
Girl power. You're doing amazing. You should feel so proud of yourself too, because it's not easy. And
It's not an easy industry.
Of a lot of egos over there.
Oh yeah, always. Radio is full of that for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we push the website so everyone knows sbscosmetics.com. You can find Shades by Shan everywhere. Tell them where you hang out most on social media.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at Shades by Shan, on Pinterest, Shades by Shan, TikTok. You can find me at Shan Berries on Instagram as well. YouTube, we're on Shades by Shan as well. Literally everywhere. And if you guys want to shop in stores, we're at Westfield Valley Fair Mall in San Jose at the Planet Beauty store, and Oak Ridge Mall in San Jose as well.
Also, just so you know, I am going to be posting this immediately, like tomorrow. What is the last day people could shop for Christmas, like in order to get it in time, do you think?
So it usually, we say 3 to 5 business days, but girl, I be having out your orders like.
Oh, it's like, it's so fast. I mean, you order and it's like, oh, out for delivery, like within a day. I'm all, where did that's crazy.
We try. I mean, we're so small that we're just like, we want to get these orders out. We know
totally
people want to get their products. So I would give it at least 3 days. So
okay.
But I am the worst last minute shopper too. But if you do want to get your hands on it, we are at in Planet Beauty stores, so you can always visit the mall. And
that's kind of fun because then you can pick up the product, see what it's like you can really know the colors. Although the colors totally translate from online to in person, sometimes that's not always the case.
Exactly.
So.
I know. We make sure everything is like 100%, so everything will translate from online to, and we even have people that are that you can chat with us online. So if you don't know what color you're thinking, or skin tone or whatever, you can always hit us up on the chat as well. You can always DM me. I try to check all my DMs and get back to everyone as well. So
awesome. Fantastic. Get those orders in. Shades by Shan Cosmetics. Boys, if you don't know what you're doing, just buy anything. Girls will be happy with it. I promise you.
Your ladies in your life will thank you. And,
yes, they will.
But thank you so much for having me again. This was awesome.
You are so welcome.
Keep killing it, girl.
Thank you, babe.